Swing fast with control. This is the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Tecnifibre TF40 290 grams 16 by 19. Tecnifibre adds a brand new weight to the popular TF40 silo of rackets. At 10.7 ounces strung, the TF40 290 grams is the lightest racket in the series and, as expected, offers easy maneuverability in a controlled 98 square inch head size. The racket also features a comfortable and responsive feel thanks to the Dynacore XTC material and foam inside the frame, which is unique for this weight of racket. Looking at the specs of this racket, I was really excited as they're kind of unique and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. So when I got on court and started hitting, the first couple things I noticed was that it was a very easy to swing racket and that I actually had some decent control and a great feel coming off. I loved practicing with this racket. It was really easy to get a groove and just go from start to finish without getting any fatigue. Now when I transitioned up to net, that kind of continued. It was really maneuverable racket and that great feel. I was able to get the racket into position and then also was able to hit a variety of volleys thanks to that feel and touch. When it came to serves for me, I was actually surprised. I preferred my second serve over my first serve. While I was able to get the racket up and over my head and some good power, I didn't really feel like I was hurting my opponent in any way. It was kind of sitting up. Whereas my second serve, I was actually very consistent with it. Sometimes that's not my biggest strength, and I was able to access enough spin to get it kind of out of my opponent's strike zone. As expected, with the lighter weight racket, I did have some stability issues from the baseline, up and net, and my returns. When I was hitting against a bigger player, there was definitely a little bit of twisting within my hands at times. However, it's something I noticed when I was playing points that if I was really swinging through the ball, I was able to kind of get away with a little bit more and not feel that stability issues as much. A benefit though for me with the lighter weight is I feel that this is a great racket for maybe a beginner that's looking for a little bit more control, a junior player transitioning into an adult racket, or for someone like me who the TF305 is a little bit too much of a racket. I can customize this one to more of a 300 gram spec and get what I'm looking for out of this racket. Overall, I think this racket offers a really nice controlled and responsive feel in a lightweight package.
This TF40 290 grams from Tecnifibre is definitely on the lighter side, but that makes it a great option for developing players or maybe somebody who's looking to customize their frame up. And for the most part, I really actually enjoyed this frame in terms of how it performed from all areas of the court. I've always felt like Tecnifibre frames maneuver and handle a little bit differently than anything else out there really. And I was happy to say that this one fell in line with that, allowing for really quick handling. And when I was getting into my take back and prepping for my shots, this frame felt very natural despite the lighter weight. I felt like rolling cross-court backhands with either my one-hander or my two-hander was very doable, and I liked how the frame performed as far as a solid feeling upon contact, as the foam-filled interior really made a lot of difference there. At net, I probably would have appreciated a little bit more mass just to help block some balls back and absorb some additional pace from our heavier hitters. But again, for the most part, the spin is really plentiful, and I was able to shape my shots effectively. On serve, the racket is really quick, so I did have to sort of shorten my motion overall to take advantage of the speedier nature of the frame. But once I sort of established that, it was good to go. And then again, on serves, I always want just a little bit more plow through, especially at the tip. The racket is relatively head heavy at 3 points headlight, so you're getting something that has good plow through, but a little bit more would probably go a long way here. Overall, this is a super solid option, again, for junior players or those looking to customize.
I really like the TF40 rackets of the past because I really enjoy the feel and control I get from this line. So I was excited to try a lighter weight version and I immediately found it very easy to swing off the baseline. I did notice that on when I was hitting a heavier hit shot that there was some instability, but really only noticed those on those really heavy incoming shots like trying to return an overhead or something like that. Other than those instances, I thought that I could generate enough racket head speed to offer a good amount of stability and good feel. I did find it really pretty easy to come over the top of this ball, so I was able to get some great angles, especially on my backhand side. I was hitting some of those really sharp angles, especially during Dingle's points. I was having a lot of fun with that. At net, my favorite aspect was the combination of maneuverability and feel. I thought that once I was hitting it in the sweet spot that I had good control of the ball and I liked the feel, so I was feeling confident enough to drop in some shorter volleys and getting a little bit more creative with my play at net. On serve, this is where I think I missed a little bit of weight the most. I typically I like those heavier rackets on serve because they help me pull through my shot, and so I was really needing to make sure that I was emphasizing to swing all the way through my serve, or else I was kind of just letting them hang in the air and they're not penetrating the court as much as I would like. I did like to return with this because, like with other TF40s, I found that the control and the feel were outstanding, and I could get myself into points with ease. Overall, I think if you're a player who really likes control and feel out of a racket but wants something a little bit lighter and with an option to customize, you should check out the TF40 290.
I used to use the previous gen TF40 305 and the 1820 string pattern as my racket of choice, and so it was fun to get out and test this updated racket with a lighter spec. It's very fast and maneuverable, as the other playtesters have said. Super easy to whip angles with, flick lobs. I felt like I was getting a lot of rotation on the ball just because I was carrying a lot of racket head speed in my shots. I did prefer this racket strung with a multi-filament string just because I felt like it opened up the sweet spot when it had a poly in it. It felt great when I was on the sweet spot, but a little bit unforgiving when I was off. Just got a bit more flutter from the racket and I was hitting short in the court. But with the multi, it cured those for me and I was really enjoying the play. But multi-feel in it, I was getting great spin out of that string as well, and so a little bit more pop on my serves with that string. Up at net, it's very fast, easy racket to maneuver. Again, pays to hit the sweet spot on this one, especially when you're hitting with someone who's got some weight and pace on their shots. Otherwise, the racket can flutter a little bit, and I think it's a really good racket for an up-and-coming junior who's looking for a lot of control but something that's easy to whip around, and likewise for a smaller framed adult who just wants a fast racket with lots of control. For the review today, we had this TF40 290 strung up with ice code at 52 pounds and multi-feel at 54 pounds. For more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to go to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.